Well, the weekend is certainly starting off on a gray note. What will the rest of the weekend hold? I'll have your forecast coming up.
As a parent, I would be concerned and leery of that.
Two preteen girls are set to fight tonight at an MMA cage-style match near Spokane, but the fight is raising some red flags. And it took the NFL less than 24 hours to announce a punishment. Today, we are learning what a Cleveland Browns player is facing for a dirty hit. Well, thanks so much for being with us here on KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Jen York. Laura Papetti is off today. Well, the wet weather is here. Michelle Boss is in for Evan Narani. Michelle, what can we expect outside this afternoon?
Probably going to be dealing with some more gray skies, and even though the bulk of the precipitation is just pushed through the Spokane area, we could still see a few showers over the next couple of hours. Satellite and radar showing a line of some rain showers. Yeah, snow levels are pretty high up there, so even in those lower passes, we're still looking at mainly just a rainfall event. But some moderate rain pushed through over the last half hour that has already moved east of Spokane. But again, we could see a few more showers redevelop, especially from Spokane into Coeur d'Alene and the rest of the Idaho Panhandle, at least through the early afternoon hours. What about Saturday down in Pullman? Cougs versus the Cardinals kick off at 1:30. Actually pretty good weather considering this time of year. Mid-November, we are looking at high temperatures in the upper 40s, so temperatures around 46 degrees by kickoff. We're looking at light winds, mostly cloudy skies, so don't have to worry about packing the hefty rain gear for Saturday's game. Here locally right now, temperatures a little bit on the cool side, 37 degrees in Spokane, 37 in Coeur d'Alene, so it certainly was a cold rain, but at least no snow out there. 36 in Deer Park, in the mid-40s in Moses Lake, and right now in Pullman, 39 degrees. Air quality, yeah, even though that air stagnation advisory was canceled earlier this week, still have not had a lot of wind movement across the inland northwest, so that air quality still in the moderate category and will likely remain there over the weekend. Here's a look at the next 12 hours. Rain showers through the early afternoon and then just kind of cloudy skies for the rest of the day. High temperatures will be topping out in the lower 40s. And for this weekend, kind of a gray day for Saturday as well, but most of the day should be dry. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of drizzle or light rain, and then a chance of rain for your Sunday, but high temperatures up around 50 degrees.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much. Well, testimony just resumed in day 2 of President Trump's public impeachment hearings. The former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine is testifying. We're going to listen in.
Foreign Service, you had an opportunity to meet her before?
Yes.
And she says there's trouble coming. I want to give you a heads up. Correct me if I get this wrong, and I don't know a lot, but it's coming from the White House. I'll call you later.
Yeah, that sums it up.
But you're literally that evening honoring this anti-corruption activist. Is that right?
Yes.
And not just any woman, but a woman who was, you said, horribly attacked and killed for her efforts. And she wasn't just killed. You said, I believe that someone threw acid on her.
That's correct.
And I went and I checked during the break, and it turns out she was horribly injured, and it took 4 months for her to die. Is that right?
A very painful death.
Why would somebody attack her with acid? There are easier ways to kill people. Why do you think they did it with acid?
Well, I think they wanted her out of the way, but I think the message was this could happen to you too if you continue her work.
That's what happens.
Well, we've been listening in live to this impeachment hearing now. You can watch that hearing in its entirety right now on KREM.com and on the KREM 2 mobile app. Back here closer to home, attorneys for the Freeman school shooting suspect are asking the judge to recuse himself. According to the motion, the defense team does not believe Judge Michael Price can appear impartial in proceedings against Caleb Sharp. They argue Price showed he was not impartial in a declination hearing in July. That is when he ruled the suspect will be tried as an adult. The motion will be heard in court next week. 2 teenage girls are recovering today after a school shooting in California. In an update today, doctors say both girls suffered gunshot wounds to the abdomen. We are still waiting to learn more about a teenage boy also shot in the attack. 2 other students died yesterday when the gunman opened fire at the high school. Doctors say the suspected gunman is also in the hospital in grave condition. Police believe he did act alone, but they have not identified a motive. This is the 30th attack on a school so far in 2019. New at noon, a jury found Roger Stone guilty today for lying to Congress. The GOP operative and President Trump's close friend lied about his interactions with the Trump campaign and WikiLeaks. The jury also found him guilty of witness tampering and obstruction. He was accused of collaborating with WikiLeaks to release Democrats' emails hacked by Russia. Now, the jury found him guilty on 7 charges. They deliberated for about 2 days. He faces up to 50 years in prison. His sentencing is scheduled for February. Spokane has a new city council president. The latest numbers put Breanne Beggs more than 500 votes ahead of Cindy Wendell, prompting her to concede. She did release a statement that reads in part, "It has been an honor and privilege to stand for this office, and though I came up just short in votes, I hold my head high at having fought the good fight and finished the race." Beggs is now talking about his future plans for the city council.
It was a long road and kind of a gripping for everyone.
It's been a long week in the race for city council president. Initially down on election night, Breanne Beggs steadily made up ground on Cindy Wendell, and tonight widened his lead beyond mandatory recount territory. Beggs says Wendell called to congratulate him this evening, and despite the extremely tight race, he says, there's no bad blood between them.
We're looking forward to getting together, have coffee, and really we both learned a lot on the campaign, and I'm going to take advantage of her insights to help me lead going forward.
And going forward, a big issue, of course, is homelessness. In the short term, Beggs says the South Cannon warming shelter should be open next week. In the long term, he says he plans to take what he calls a people-first approach to addressing the issue.
That you got to reach people where they are, if they've got a mental health issue, if there's a substance abuse issue, if they just need a better job to afford this increased housing cost. You got to meet them where they are, treat them with dignity, and work together with the county and city of Spokane Valley. And we've been doing that. It's just that the forces against us have been hard, so we haven't done it as fast as people wanted.
He acknowledges it won't be easy, and that he and Mayor-elect Nadine Woodward don't necessarily agree on how to address the issue, although he says he does not anticipate any problems working with Woodward to make progress.
Nadine and I have really never had any cross words with each other, and I think we're both committed to the best for the city.
Now, aside from homelessness, Beggs says his other priorities include tackling the housing crisis and the need for more affordable housing. He also thinks the city is spending too much on locking up nonviolent offenders. X is now a gender option on Washington state driver's licenses and IDs. It's an alternative to male or female. The option is available to everyone in Washington state. State leaders say the change is to ensure everyone can have an ID that reflects their gender identity. 2 preteen fighters will face off tonight in an MMA fight near Spokane. It is part of the Conquest of the Cage at Northern Quest Resort and Casino. One fighter is from Seattle, the other is from Belgium. And the fight is sparking some controversy, mainly concerning how young the girls are. They're both 12. Promoter Rick Little says he is not allowing this fight as a spectacle. He says he understands the concerns, but says it's about creating an equal playing field. Meanwhile, those involved in promoting the event at some point here have some concerns.
And so you get people that are iffy on the sport and that don't follow the sport and now see 2 girls on a poster with the cage on it. I get it. They're going to be a little bit worried.
Never in my wildest dreams would I've imagined that it would be used to promote a fight between young kids.
Now, both girls do have the full support of their parents. That match is set to begin tonight at 7 p.m. Well, new at noon, Cleveland Browns player Myles Garrett is suspended indefinitely from the NFL. A lot of people talking about this today. So last night in a matchup between the Steelers and Browns, Garrett ripped off the Steelers quarterback's helmet and then hit him with it. Referees quickly ejected Garrett from the game, and it took less than 24 hours for the NFL to announce his suspension. Police say he's not facing criminal charges for this act, but if he is reinstated, NFL leaders say he must meet a list of requirements, but they say it won't happen until next season at the earliest. Now, Garrett admitted losing his cool. He was a #1 pick for the NFL draft out of Texas A&M. He now has 3 days to appeal his suspension.